So the story goes, I'm out having something to eat. A young lady approaches me, who actually was one of the waitresses there, and she's interested. She's vibing. She has a nice smile. She's looking beautiful, and she enjoys the conversation that she started with me. And we're doing some playful back and forth, some flirting, and everything. But for some reason, there's not a vibe that is compelling me to be attracted to her. Now she's attractive, but there's something off there. Not saying that we couldn't find ourselves in an attractive space or in a magnetic space, but something is off at this point. Now, I'm not gonna lie, it's been a minute since I've been out on the dating scene, just due to other obligations. So it does feel good to have somebody stroking my ego. You never know, she might be stroking something else later on. But there was something that was keeping me from making that move. And today we're going to be talking about how to maintain a certain level of competence and confidence, even though you may be going through a dry spell. What's up, all you good fellow fly guys? You know who it is, the Cat in the Hat, your resident fly guy, your chief architect, Michelangelo of StyleArchitects.com, here to help you redesign your frame of mind when it comes to this lifestyle thing. And today we're going to be talking all about how to maintain confidence so that you don't fall into complacency when it's been a while since you have interacted with the young lady. Now, this can happen for a lot of different reasons. Maybe you're caught up with your work and you just really have not had time to date. Maybe you just got out of a long-term relationship and so you're just now getting back onto the dating scene. Or maybe you're just one of those shy guys who really doesn't get approached that much and your style has started to change and so you're starting to get attention. In any one of these situations, I understand how it can be easy to go ahead and just take whatever's being thrown at you, especially if it's attractive. But I want to talk to you about some benefits and some detriments in 3 different ways that you could be approaching somebody. So by the end of this video, you'll have that information and you'll actually get some insight into what happened with the story. Now, if this is your first time here, welcome. This is a great time for you to be here to start understanding how life and style seamlessly weave themselves together. And if you don't know anything about me, I am what is called a lifestyle coach. And that essentially means that my goal is to make sure that you're not only showing up in style, but that it is a core reflection of how you want to live your life. So if you find this information beneficial, please consider subscribing. I would love to be a character in your lifestyle story. If you have already subscribed, like Chantel Batcher or Rob Proach, then now all you have is one more thing left to do, and that is hit that notification bell, and that way you will be notified each and every time new content comes out. So again, we're now at this crux where she and I have been interacting with each other throughout the evening. It's almost time for me to go. She showed me her IG. So, I know what she looks like in multiple different types of scenarios. She's a beautiful chick. She's super talented in the areas that she's pursuing. So I appreciate her. I dig her, but there's still something that's off with why we're vibing. And I have 3 options. A, I can go ahead and just reject her outright and be like, man, the vibe is off and I'm just not going to deal with her. Or B, I can take the time to get to know her better and see where that vibe is and figure out what it is that's kind of keeping me at bay. Or C, I can just go ahead and handle my business. Now, for the last option, generally speaking, that's what everybody's going to do. And that's what I'll be clowned on, by friends sometimes, because I just don't make a move because she's attractive and she's interested. But what a lot of guys don't realize is that move to just pursue anything that you don't necessarily have interest in actually makes you less attractive. It's what some young ladies will call being thirsty. And so at some point you have to have a standard. We're going to get to that in a second. First, I'm going to start out with my A option, and that was to completely reject her. Now, the benefit of that is that I'm not wasting my time with somebody that I genuinely don't want to get to know, or I don't have any interest in. And that wasn't the case here. I still found her attractive. I still thought that she was a cool individual. I just couldn't really figure out what that vibe was. And the detriment of that is oftentimes that we bypass some wonderful people who could really be beneficial for our lives. We may not find ourselves in any romantic situations, but maybe she becomes a great referral for some other friends. Or maybe she becomes a close confidant that you can build with, and just a close friend in that regard. So even in those different types of spaces, you want to be aware of what you're looking for and what the benefit is. And if it's not going to be to your benefit and it's not really worth your time, then go ahead and gracefully bow out of that engagement and let her down easy, respectfully. But if it is something that potentially could yield some benefit for you, then it may be worth pursuing. Which leads me to my second option, and that was to get to know her better. Now, getting to know somebody better from a physical standpoint is not just about sex. It's not just about getting to the get down. Getting to know somebody, even on an intimate level, is about actually seeing what she enjoys, how she enjoys it, and how you can be a pleasurable experience for her. And this can be extremely beneficial, especially if you plan on getting with her again. A lot of guys are only concerned with their selfish motives, and they forget that women are enhancers, women are nurturers, and they're givers. So the more that you give to her, the more likely you are to receive. And in this space, it's beneficial to get to know what her intentions are. Listen, as we get a little bit older, it's not just about hitting it and quitting it. And the reason being is because now we understand the possibility and the potential issues that you could run into, whether it's having a baby, catching an STD or STI, or just finding yourself in the situation with a crazy person. I can tell you, I have friends who've gotten set up and put in compromising situations simply because they didn't take the time to get to know what the young lady was about. So that is the detriment of you not working those different types of things out. But the benefit can often be, if you are paying attention to this young lady, then you understand how she likes to be touched, how she likes to be engaged with. And this is not always going to be said verbatim or verbally. And sometimes it's about paying attention to those subtle cues that are going to give you access to her unlimited sexual and social treasures. And that's the benefit of getting to know somebody better. Now, the last option, of course, is just handling your business. And you heard some of the detriment of why that can be a issue previously when I just talked about the detriments for option B. But something a little bit deeper in that space is sometimes you can just find yourself in a situation where the sexual interaction or the personal and intimate interaction can end up being banal and just a waste of time. We're all old enough to know that we've had some good sex and we've had some terrible sex, or some not so good sex, or find ourselves in a situation where we're with a young lady that we just don't sexually vibe with in that space. And because of that, it never really makes for a good interaction. True, you have a stroke to your ego because you got some sex. That's great, but if you're moving towards really having some enjoyable sexual acts and experiences, then this is going to be much more important than you just getting with a chick. But then there are those times when you find yourself enwrapped in conversations where seconds seem like days, and you guys are interacting on a level where everything else is fading to the background and you are connecting on a very intimate level. Well, if that's the case, then if she is down and you're down, then we're adults and we should handle ourselves accordingly in adult situations. And this doesn't mean that this has to be the end of the experience or the engagement with that other person. This could be the inception to something memorable and that you guys can share for a lifetime. So don't discount the sexual magnetism that may come immediately just because you have built a rapport and a connection with an individual. This is an opportunity for you to handle and begin engaging in the enjoyment, not necessarily the business, of love. So what happened with me and this young lady? Well, if I gotta be honest, I chose option B, even though option C was on the table. And it was just because I didn't feel like it was the type of vibe that I wanted to put myself in immediately. And I was a little happy that it did, because even though she was talking a good game and talking a whole lot of things that the average guy would have wanted to hear, it just wasn't resonating with me. And as soon as that became, more forthright that she wasn't going to get what she when she wanted it, she kind of switched up. Now, me and her are still cool. She's still a wonderful young lady, and we're still getting to know each other. But I was definitely glad that I didn't put myself in a rushed situation, maintain my self-confidence with the awareness that I was going to be able to find another beautiful young lady. I mean, it is springtime. So I was going to be able to interact with numerous beautiful young ladies as the months progressed, and I didn't need to rush myself. And in that same thing, that's something that I would challenge for you, to take your time, really figure out and enjoy the process of getting to know somebody, even if it's on a sexual level, but to know that there are benefits and detriments to any choice that you find yourself when it comes to colorful, intimate exchanges. So that's it. I want you to answer this question of the day. In the situation, which option would you have chosen, A, B, or C, and why? Would love to continue this conversation, and you never know, maybe some younger guys who are following the channel could use some insight from some OGs, and maybe some of the young OGs are going to be able to provide some insight for us as well. So outside of that, give this a thumbs up if you found this information beneficial, and go and share this with a friend. Listen, I know that this is probably going to start some conversation where dudes are like, what was he thinking? I would have definitely tapped that, but let's talk about why. And above all, don't ever forget to live, love, and create a lifestyle that suits you. See you next time. Peace.